It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you, but when we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain. With or without Ken. Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Oh, I like that.
Why did you bring the whole team? They could have been backing it up, man.
Maybe I don't understand just why we can't be lovers. Things are getting out of hand. Trying too much, but baby, we can't win. Let it go. If you want me, girl, let me know. I am down on my knees. I can't take it anymore. It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you, but when we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain. With or without you. Got a little carried away.
You guys just got to come in and just do the whole album, man.
You know what? It's really hard for me to turn this off right now because I really want to continue.
You want to continue? Guys, welcome back, man. Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm.
We had a technical faux pas the last time, so thanks for coming back. And you brought the pink.
I brought the pink. And I'm sorry, Otto, I didn't know you were going to be here, but I brought you a hat, Manny.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So next time Otto's going to get one.
Yeah, no, it's fine, man.
Otto's probably going to get a nice pink
Welcome
one.
back, guys.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Share the information again. So it's under, it's still under AVAS Concepts, right?
Yeah, AVAS and Concepts. So AVAS_Concepts is our handle on Instagram, and avasandconcepts.com is our website.
Okay. And then let me do a quick shout out to Adam. I got AO4 group t-shirt wearing today. That's where I'm going. So, are you ready to take your construction business to the next level? Consider joining the Construction Life's Tradespeople Alliance program, TAP, where skilled professionals connect, collaborate, and grow together. Our network is built on mutual respect and the shared goal of always building better. As a member, you'll have access to a wealth of resources designed to streamline your operations and attract more clients. From a 30-minute assessment call with myself to expert consultations in business, finance, and health, we've got you covered. Your business information will be featured at www.theconstructionlife.com, complete with certifications, logos, and geo-targeting to help you reach the right audience. Promote your business with a 30-second advert across TCL's social channels and our popular podcasts. Get exclusive access to TCL networking events and roundtable shows where you can connect with other tradespeople and general contractors, plus enjoy TCL merchandise, member-exclusive content, and a spot in the TAP directory online. We're going to promote you guys to homeowners across Facebook groups. Don't miss out on this opportunity to elevate your business. Become a member of the Construction Life's Tradespeople Alliance program today and start reaping the benefits. Visit us at www.theconstructionlife.com for more details, or DM us through any of the social platforms, or text me directly at 416-433-5737 to learn more, and consider being a TAP member today. I like
Adam.
it.
What's up,
it's
Adam?
good.
What up, Adam?
The shirt.
We don't have to try to remember what we spoke about last time.
No.
We're just going to shoot the shit about what's going on this time.
Absolutely.
Simple as that. So what is going on this time?
For us.
Thanks for the little shout out on Instagram just before you guys headed out. I guess you dropped a little video there. You were headed to the thing. And then, so what's going on with you guys?
My gosh, there's a lot.
It's a funny season coming to the end of the year?
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's...
Client funny, trade funny, industry funny, funny, Joe Pesci funny. Which one is it?
My gosh, I think it's a mixed bag of it. I'm finding the new builds or the new custom homes with shit ton of automation that slowed down quite a bit more than we're used to. But renovations are still happening. People are still kind of going gung-ho with that. Service is always there. We've been around for almost 20 years. Service is always there. So for us, there's always like a bit of a mixed
hills
bag.
and valleys, right?
Yeah, and now we're seeing a lot of our clients that we've had for many years moving north and building their last home, making their last move.
Is it really their last home?
No.
Why do people always want to move? Do they want to move because they want to go up the community status ladder?
Yeah, well,
For some.
yeah, for some,
so. Yeah.
for
Like the
some.
house is not big enough?
You know, we've got clients that have moved up north as their last home or their retiring home, if you want to call it. Sounds weird to say retiring, but that home, and they're traveling more than ever.
So
they're not really there much.
yeah.
Right. But that's what you do. You enjoy your life. When you are home, you're in a much more calm environment, if you will, which I I agree with.
I agree. I totally agree with it. But I'm trying to figure out why people would always try to upbuild.
Right.
Are they wanting more square footage? Are they wanting more bells and whistles, or they don't want to spend the time and money on the bells and whistles on the current structure that they're in? Like,
Right.
is that the current structure is not exactly what they wanted, and they keep on chasing exactly what they wanted?
I think so. And I think with the cost of living, you know, the state that it's in, especially in the city, I think they see that there's a greater opportunity, or they have more leverage to work with if they actually move a little more north. You know, they get out of the city, they get out of the pocket, and now they can have, you know, greater maneuverability. They have, you know, more financial support or flexibility to work with. So
But you can do that in any dwelling.
You can, but there's a different cost, I think, attached to it. You know, like
In what respect?
Well, if you take myself as an example, I've been working on a couple little projects myself. I live in Bloor West Village, like Jane and Bloor area. Like, I know the cost of what I've done in where I am is an inflated cost, because when I'm working with these trades, they say, oh, I got to go there. Like, I'm coming from Brampton and I'm going to go, you know, to that location. You know, I'm coming from Vaughan, I got to go down there.
There aren't that
building
many
in the
trades that are living in the core.
No. So, you know, I think these guys that maybe have like really nice established homes in the city, they look at the cost of trying to get to that end goal of what they picture as their perfect home. Right. And they say, oh, this will cost me 25% less if I move to.
I know, like you know this, Dennis. Like the thing is, why keep on chasing? I guess it's more about the status,
Like up the ante kind of thing.
Like my younger brother did it all the time. He always went to a bigger, better, bigger house, better neighborhood. It kept on going, and I'm pretty sure in the one that he's currently in right now, which is probably less than 10 years, he's already thinking about making that next bigger, better move.
Right.
Why do people always have to do that when they might have something really good right in front of them, where they're in right now?
Right.
Plus, as we get older, we're downsizing, are we not? The kids getting older, they're going to get pushed out.
Yeah. I go younger, but anyways, that's a different subject. I don't age, as you can tell. I think it depends on the client, because one client in particular, he moved up north and finally built the house that he always dreamed of. Down in the city, he was always in condo living. Businessman, running a business for many years. Finally built that dream house that he wanted in that location near the Blue Mountain Hills. Loves to ski. That's like his ultimate dream.
Will he upsell from that one? Like, would he?
No.
That's it. He's found his utopia, right?
Yeah. All he does is spend the money on the automation upgrades with us.
So he's
constantly upgrading.
He's constantly just satisfying that footprint.
Yeah. He's in an absolutely gorgeous location. The house was literally angled, positioned by the architects, facing his favorite hill. Like, it was his dream, and he actually said it to me for years. One day I'm going to move here, and that was his goal.
Wow.
Other client that I was working at very late last night, probably till 11:30, up in Tiny Beach. For him, he's got his house in the city, gorgeous house. He bought it like that, but then now he's just moving up there to have his first cottage. So not necessarily to move there, but to enjoy it as the cottage space.
Do you think a lot of clients are going to just abandon their primary residence and make their cottage their home? That happened a lot with COVID, during COVID. Yeah. A lot of clients were like, yeah, we're here, and we don't know when we're coming back to the city. So I'm just wondering,
remote,
tax-wise, government-wise, would that work? Like, you got your primary dwelling, but you got your second unit.
Yeah.
Cottage, but then if you sell your primary dwelling and now you move into your cottage, you don't have a second unit anymore. Right. That becomes your prime. Are we free and clear from the tax? I don't know. That's a good question to ask CRA.
Well, when do you, does that capital gains? Is that for everybody? No matter first, primary or secondary?
No, it's already kicked in, the capital gains, as of June or whatever it was, right? But the thing is
so shit.
So that's what I mean, is that you've got a lot of cottage dwellers that probably have had structures handed down through the family.
Yeah.
And now they have to decide, do we keep this? But if we keep it, then it's a secondary dwelling for whoever's on title from their first dwelling.
Right.
So I'm just wondering if you sell your dwelling and now you want to get the cottage life and you want to go up there, and that becomes your primary now.
Right.
I think there might be a gray area there. I don't know.
That might be a loophole.
Because I agree. I mean, as you get older, you definitely want to get away from the core and make the core a vacation moment instead of a routine.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And you're right about trades going into the core. They're always going to have a surcharge. They're going to have a core surcharge.
Yeah.
Because it's a pain in the ass for parking. It's a pain in the ass to get material down there. It's a pain in the ass to do the work.
Yeah, you can travel the same time, but get triple the distance working up north. You know, it can take me an hour for 10 kilometers in Toronto, and I can go way more than that. Like I drive to Collingwood all the time from Innisfil, and you know.
But where are your suppliers? They're not in the core, are they?
Suppliers are pretty much in the core and in the States, and then they have warehouses, but it's all shipped to our office. We don't pick anything up anymore.
You don't go to the suppliers and walk
No
around
way.
anymore?
That's such a waste of time.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
No.
You plan the job. You plan the material list.
Yeah, like
Gas is too expensive. Travel's too expensive and timely.
you know, I'd rather
just
pay our
incur the
distributors
cost,
10, 15 bucks, sometimes free delivery, even from the States, Control 4, $18 shipping. I really don't care. Like the time, an hour for Ken to drive or me, that's such valuable time. So it's not about even saving the gas like Ken just said. It's more like I'd rather pay $20 to ship. I'll pay $50 to ship than to lose your valuable hour driving around for what?
There's no reason for it.
Then there's wait times at the suppliers. Now the only exception to that rule is if we're dealing with a service issue or we're completing an install and something was faulty and something is bad, we'll call the supplier and be like, okay, we're sending someone down. We're gonna go grab it right now.
But they'll deliver it to you. Or no, they won't.
They won't.
They will,
no.
but it'll just take longer, right?
Yeah, it'll take
48 hours.
I'm saying like on the spot, we want to resolve something.
So you
we're going
just
to
go there and get it.
Go get it. That's the exception to the rule.
Yeah, and we don't like to tell our clients, oh, it's going to take a week to get that part. If it's within reason, we'll definitely be like, we're going to dispatch somebody.
Yeah,
we're going to have that to you within 24 hours. Like, especially if it's something that's vital. Like, I'm having a big party this weekend.
Oh, it's always a big party this weekend. Yet I never get the invite. I don't understand. They always say when the house is done, you guys are going to be here for a party. I'm still not there for the party.
They always say it. Huh? They always say it, but they never invite.
Oh, absolutely. But we've had some clients where we've had.
You come in and you check it out.
Oh yeah,
they probably invite you just in case if something goes down.
Yeah, okay. They want to
you're there already. Since you're already there, put the drink down and just go take a look.
They're like, Dennis, this is the rack room that you built. How about you stay here and
you can come and schmooze. You can sell to all my rich friends, and then also
it's not a bad sales pitch to actually invite yourself to get into those parties because you have other clients right there. No,
100%.
Try and make them to the ones that we should make. Yeah,
and this is why service for us is so important. That's where the business grows. A service call might be deemed as a bad thing, but technology will fail. Problems will happen. But it's when the client gets a response and you give them a solution and it's fixed within seconds. Like I did 2 service calls on the highway on my way to the office today. Literally done. Like email in, email back, phone call. I had a chauffeur, so someone was driving. So I was not on my phone. And it got resolved, done.
Tesla was driving.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Optimus.
So I know I kind of pivoted there, but that's why service is very important. Dealing with service, being on top of it.
But that's your industry. That if anything, that's paramount when it comes to your industry.
It is the
more so than any other line item.
It is the number one reason why a lot of companies out there are losing their customers. Number one.
They just don't want to deal with having to answer stupid questions, or they just don't want to deal with that part of the business.
I think that they, and not to say, it's their fault or whatever, but I think sometimes people follow the money or follow the demand to keeping up with the demand to make the money because of their overhead, that they just say, I can't deal with this service right now. I got to close that job. Listen, I think about that too. I wish I had half the overhead that we have, but unfortunately it's part of growth. But service cannot be let go. It cannot be let go.
You got to keep improving it.
Keep improving it, like constantly.
And also, instead of trying to look at it as a headache, look at it as an opportunity to figure out how can I handle this situation better the next time it comes up.
Manny,
Yes.
just,
Nailed it.
you just nailed it. Every situation that we're in, I always look at Ken, I look at Krish, I look at Randy. What can we learn from this?
Yeah.
You know, we were at a job site, a new construction, where we did another visit there, and 3 lines were poked out of the opposite walls. And I just say to Ken, you know, what can we do to just try to prevent this in the future? We're not there for the whole construction project. It's the GC's job to just be on top of every little thing. But even the GC could lose sight of that, which is understood. But what can we learn from that? Hey, let's make sure we do a post walkthrough immediately and then another post walkthrough just after drywall, you know?
Just in case.
Just in case. Like, yes, it's our wire, but it's not our project. But instead of just passing it on to someone else, say, oh, you should have told us. The GC's got 300,000 things that they're looking at in the house. We just have to worry about our wires. So if we can make that extra visit, it's going to go a long way.
Is it a nice gesture? Excuse me. You guys think that it's a nice gesture if you, before the drywall crew starts, to kind of pass by and just say, hello, how's it going? Here's some coffees. Basically say, when you read the subtitles, don't cut my wires, please.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all drywallers will cut the wires, but
Yeah.
you know, electrician wise, and also your wires, your Cat 6 wires, they get roto-zipped all the time, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
couldn't hurt.
I will say,
You
in
know,
all fairness, much less nowadays than I used to see.
They're
I
aware
used to
of it.
see, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to see it a lot. And now we're coming up with strategic ways of separating our lines before they get into the last wall that they come out of, in case one gets damaged. Your chances of the other 2 getting damaged are much less because they're not in a bundle. We're learning, we're discovering.
Clever. I get that. That makes a
Yeah,
lot of
because if
sense.
everything is tied in a bundle, well, now they're all vulnerable with one screw. Separate them. Now, if one gets damaged, we always have a
You
spare.
just have a backup at that point.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But it's
Yeah.
easier to just run all 3 of them,
Right.
chase them through the house.
True.
So.
And that's fine. They will be all as a bundle, but
Yeah.
when they get to that endpoint wall,
Yeah.
separate it.
them. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys saw that post or the meme of the Kijiji guy installing the TV mount, and he drilled into the
Back of the TV?
No, he drilled into the 3-inch ABS.
Ah.
Ooh. Electrical?
No, the actual waste pipe of a toilet.
Oh,
He anchored it right, so then it was
haven't seen
leaking,
that.
and all of a sudden the homeowners cut out the drywall, and they discovered that he put the 2 bolts right into the ABS
yeah.
pipe. So I guess the ABS would have read as a solid
Yeah.
object,
Uh-huh.
and he said, "All right, there's a stud
There's
here."
a stud
Yeah.
here. But you can feel it. Your drill talks to you.
You know what?
You just
Yeah.
got to
You
listen.
bring up a very good point. It does. It tells you that ain't wood.
Yeah. and I'm sure.
It's wood
Yeah.
flowing through
You
there
must have
some
pushed-
days.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that ain't wood.
That ain't wood. Like, I think we could all agree, like, we are sometimes in situations where we're drilling and we don't know what's going to appear on the other side. You know, sometimes there's a Romex just sitting right on the edge of that joist.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, I've drilled in some pretty sensitive situations, but I'm drilling slowly.
Just in case.
I'm drilling slowly, and I know with a spade bit, I know that point there can only go so far before it's going to cause damage. Go slowly. As soon as there's a little bit of an opening, put a fish in there. Just scope around. It's not that hard. People just sometimes don't give a shit.
3-way the world. These little puppies. I'm speaking from experience. I've actually installed these and I love these. 3-way prefabricated inside drywall corner. The first one-piece solution for perfect, crisp corners every time. With 3-way, you'll improve your quality, save on labor, and cut down on time. Traditional methods require 3 tapes, lots of sanding, and high skill. But with 3-way corners, they install in just a fraction of the time with fewer steps. It is adjustable for any angle, reinforced to cover gaps, and designed to blend seamlessly into the corner. Say goodbye to pesky touch-ups and hello to flawless finishes. Try 3-way today and revolutionize your drywall game. Perfect corners every time. To purchase or check out some how-to videos to see the installs in action, visit 3way.ca or connect with them at 306-514-3768 or drop them an email at 3waytheworld@gmail.com. Connect with me, TCL, and stop by the studio and get a free pack on us for anyone to try. And trust me, I'm telling you, you'll love it. This message is proudly supported by The Construction Life. Whatever happened to those mounts? Was it a few years back? I think it was Samsung.
And not for anything, but ABS, you would smell it right away. But
That's the other thing.
You would smell that plastic.
I would
Yeah.
smell something.
Yeah.
You would smell that gas.
Yeah.
So obviously the person who was doing it, first of all, didn't know how to discover the wire, the structure to begin with.
Right.
And then when they drilled, they're like, that's the gun.
right.
That's all it is. But like Samsung had those magnetic, was it the floating mount things? They were like for flat, really lighter TVs. It was a weird mount system.
Oh yeah, I remember
it wasn't
that. The
bolt.
pucks?
Right? Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
then there's
happened to that?
the wire
That
over
never
it
flew?
on the back.
That did. It flew for a bit.
It worked.
It worked.
They did
Ish.
work. Yeah.
It worked. Oh, and then it had the kickstand.
The kickstand.
So it had the two pucks with the wire, basically
Yeah.
hung like a frame.
That's right.
Like a picture frame. Oh my God. And then the bottom one that you screw onto one of the Vesta screws is a kickstand to hold it up from the wall.
Yeah, so you could manage your wires.
you can manage your
get
wires.
your arm back there. Yeah,
That's such a stupid mount.
it was just too proprietary, and then it forced these clients and like these integrators to always have to work around that very specific solution. Just say the customer wanted to put it on an articulating arm,
Yeah.
because they wanted to turn it towards the kitchen sometimes. Oh, you can't do that with this rope. Like
That was a very silly
picture
mount.
canvas
That doesn't
kinda
make any sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm still a fan of the
it was like
TV
$3.
belongs to the room.
Right.
It doesn't belong to the house.
Right.
So if you want to swing it to be seen from another room, you're sacrificing
another
the
one.
optimum of the main room.
I would
That's
agree
what
with you.
I think we were talking last time about how I still believe vertical TVs in kitchens make a lot of sense, but primarily as a touchscreen interaction TV.
Right.
Yeah.
For cooking.
What was
for-
funny about that, Manny, was I literally the next day went to a client's house and they asked for that specifically.
Because they're fucking listening. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion,
Yeah.
listen,
They couldn't listen. We weren't recording.
I know. they sensed it. It was in the universe, right? No, but like I'm a fan of books. Trust me, and I've been in enough homes where you see all the cooking books all laid out there, and the spine's never broken. So obviously you're not using these things, but they
Yeah.
look great on the shelf. But I think in today's day and age, tech-wise, a TV screen, you go to TikTok, you go to whatever
Yeah.
your social is, you go to web,
100%.
it's all there. And it's if it's a screen that's durable, you can just clean it. Just
Yeah.
clean it all, because you're going to have fingerprints all over. You're going to have food,
Yeah.
gravy and all this shit on
Yeah.
it, right, to make sure it works.
That's
So
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's all it is. But I
The
think
only thing
makes
it comes
sense.
down to is what's the operating system. Like, I love that idea, and we were talking about it with this one client.
Check out the one in the boardroom here, because they have one.
Yes, I'm assuming it's Android based for sure.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
You can use a stylus and everything. It's really cool.
And it works pretty fluid. Nice.
I was pretty impressed by it. It's
Yeah.
bulky. It's thickish. It's 2.5 thick.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you recess it in there, right?
Yeah.
I just discovered a company out in the States somewhere. I'm going to say California. They're selling recessed sections, so you can recess your smoke alarm. You can recess.
Walmart?
okay.
Is it Walmart? Is that what it's called?
Walmart
Could be
does.
Walmart,
Yeah,
but
they do a lot of.
It's pretty cool
recessed-
looking. I like that.
Yeah,
So
a
it's
lot of
actually
recessed
designed
things.
for round. You could do squares. You could do a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I was impressed with the smoke alarms, because you
That's a
have to
good
put
one.
smoke alarms, but just by recessing it, it helps it disappear a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a
So
bad
you can do the same thing
smart.
with the TV.
Yeah.
Get into a wall cavity. You can put a 2 or 3 inch thick TV into the cavity, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Although we try and avoid that because it marries you to that TV. If you ever wanted to upgrade or change,
How
to
often
different
you
model-
upgrading TVs though? This is
Depends
the
on the
kitchen.
client.
This is the kitchen functioning TV.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to end up staying with the same footprint.
So
if
what do
you
you like, a
can.
Yeah.
decade, or are you going to change that TV a lot sooner than a decade?
In a kitchen application, yeah, it probably makes
How
more
often
sense.
people changing TVs these days?
I would say if you average it every 3 years or so.
3 years?
I was
give or take.
gonna say
What are they doing
3
with
to 5?
the older
yeah.
TV?
They just move it to somewhere else in the house,
Put it out
or
to pasture?
they get
Like
a
what's going on?
Yeah,
friend
unless
or
it's
a
pooched.
relative that gets a new TV. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a dead TV because it had a black spot,
Right.
like literally a black spot. I don't even know what the hell that is, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I would hate it. It would come and go, right? And I was like, hey, I'm done with this shit. Take this TV out, put it to the curb. It was gone before I got back to the door.
Like
Yeah.
it was a flat panel though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's got a black spot on it.
Yeah.
Like, what is that, first of all?
It's
Was it
probably-
a plasma or LED?
LED.
Sounds like LED.
Samsung
One of the backlights probably is
Yeah.
is going, it's
defective.
flickering,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah, 'cause
looking for a
there's
dimmer
multiple.
switch or what? Like, what's going on there? It's done, but you got to change bulbs. Do I have to crack open the back?
If it's a problem with the panel, then then it's
Good luck. Good luck. And the guy who took your TV probably
with
still,
tweezers. I'm changing
God.
bulbs. I'm getting
2,000
this.
of
he's still working. He's still
Give me an
working
R.
on it.
Give me a G. No, man, that TV's toast, right? I mean, and today's prices, it makes no sense, right?
No, that's right.
But I was shocked that someone just took it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but people take stuff from the curb all the time.
That's true. And some people just roll the dice like, oh, maybe this person.
I don't mind the black spot.
Just upgraded the TV.
It becomes a regular
this is
4:3
fine.
TV now. It's not a 16:9.
There you go. Just crop it. Yeah.
Turn
Totally
it into
fine.
a video wall and just use 3 of the quadrants.
What are the new toys now? What are you guys people asking for? Or are you guys discovering?
For us, we're pretty new to the security alarm game. Or industry, if you will. So that's been pretty exciting for us. We're doing a lot of alarms. So that's been definitely very interesting for sure. We've integrated alarms for many, many years where we take control of an alarm and create events and actions based on the alarm status. But now we're actually providing the alarms. So that's been a really fun learning curve for
And
us.
the 24, like the monitoring and everything, you guys are doing that as well?
Yeah, yeah. So we're teamed up with a central monitoring station that does the monitoring on our behalf, and we're the service provider and the installation company for the alarm systems.
What's the rule if you have false alarms? You still billed by the services?
Yeah, you still get billed by the services.
What's
if it's
the
a
billing
false
going
alarm.
on these days if the fire shows up or whatever?
I think fire, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 150,
Around there, yeah.
something
How do
like
you
that.
prevent
security-
them from coming if it goes off?
Well, the cool part about the alarm smokes that we do today, they actually already have technology built in to differentiate the difference between, let's say, cooking versus an actual
So
fire.
it won't activate a call.
Yeah, and I'm sure like, that's a very fine line, so you got to be careful. So I'm sure you might get a false alarm, but they basically claim you get like much less because now it's not just your toast that's going to set off, the fire alarm or the smoke alarm.
They're
Right.
a little too sensitive in my opinion, man.
Yeah, I
get it, the safety wise, but
I mean, so far we haven't had any customers
That's right. Yeah.
report back to us with that. So I guess that's a good sign.
what do you guys, you're connecting all the Smokies to your system. So it's all like app enabled as well too?
It's all app enabled. It's all integrated into our control floor automation systems that we provide, so we can create many different actions for our clients or automation events. But what's interesting, you mentioned something about, oh my gosh,
Tying into the Smokies.
I say a lot of
the
things.
Smokies. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, the
yeah.
Smokies, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit frowned upon with some insurance companies to tie into the 120 volt smokes and then relay that into the alarm system.
But building code, you're supposed to tie into 120.
No. So the 120 smokes that are part of the electrical spec and
Oh,
code,
okay.
those are to stay as they are.
Yes.
But then if someone's putting in an alarm system, there's a way that we can tie into that 120 volt system and use that as their smokes. And then it will send a trigger to the alarm.
Got
So
it.
it's all
A lot of
integrated,
insurance
yeah.
companies don't want that because now you're
They want it
reliant
separate.
because when we tie into the 120 volt smokes, we're using a relay to step that down to a close contact, open contact. And
What is their reluctance?
they don't like that the relay is the vulnerability. If that
There's
relay,
like a middleman there.
there's a middleman
It's
between
not direct
that smoke
relationship.
and our alarm system.
So before this smoke goes off as its own regular use, the relay dictates whether it goes off.
Yeah, so basically, you know how the 120 volt smokes, they all have a traveler, right?
Yeah.
So when one goes off, they all go off?
Yes, interconnection, right?
Yeah, so if we tie into any one of those in that chain, we plug it into our 120 volt relay, and then that out of that relay will give us a normally open contact. That normally open contact talks to our contact for the alarm. So as soon as that smoke trips, closes, sends the trigger to our alarm. Works flawlessly.
But it doesn't activate the rest of them?
It will, because that's still part of its
It's still part
infrastructure.
of the system. Okay, I got it.
But the insurance companies don't like that they're relying on that relay.
But it's still doing...
It's still doing the job.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Very
like,
particular,
we know
yeah.
that things usually happen after, certain accidents or certain, crazy events. So
Yeah,
maybe
but it's like
maybe
at
they've
first when you were
seen-
describing it, it sounded like you were bypassing it. You
Oh,
are,
no, not at all.
But the thing is, you're not compromising the rest of the house.
No, and as a matter of fact, our 120 volt relay connects to it as if you were connecting another smoke.
Yeah.
So it's not in a series chain where if that fails, the others fail. It's not Christmas lights.
Yeah.
It's all parallel circuit. So it has no bearing on its function based on how it was designed. But they don't want that. So I actually don't completely disagree with it, because even on an alarm system standpoint, we're kind of taking a back door when you're doing that, in the sense that the alarm system doesn't have the proper communication to the smokes, meaning it doesn't know when to stop alarming. Right?
I got it.
Whereas the alarm system would say, okay, here's a pulse stopped, over. If the smoke keeps going and the alarm keeps going, there's no dictator to say to stop. That's the one side that the alarm company is saying, we want more control of that anyways.
Yeah, normally when, like, I've got 11, right? No, yeah, I've got 11, including the probe inside the HVAC system for a legal second unit dwelling, right?
Right.
So when one goes off, the whole house becomes a club, right? But you push one of them, it starts to already downsize and shut itself off, right?
Right.
If it's a false alarm, so to speak, right?
Right.
And I don't mind that, because it actually is heard everywhere it's supposed to, all the bedrooms, all the floors, all the areas, right? So I'm fine with that. But I wouldn't have an issue you guys it's not even a bypass.
Not
you
a
guys
bypass.
adding on. Basically, you're adding a 12th one now in my scenario.
Yeah, we're taking that command of traveling that sound to all of them and just using it to, notify the authorities or emergency services.
I was just curious about that. I was wondering. Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense. First of all, everybody who's listening, you better have your updated Smokies. Like, it's just as simple as that. There might be an eyesore to some people. Yeah. They might be a pain in the ass. I'm not a fan of the 3-in-1 with the strobes.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of the night. Like, it's bad enough to even look at your screen on your phone device, right?
Right.
And now you got this strobe action, which is it compromises you from getting out of it. You have to adjust everything first of all, right?
Right.
But I get it. That's what they're doing now. It's let them be. That's the code, and go that route. But
I think another thing that people should pay attention to is, so not only keeping your smokes up to date, because they always have an expiration date, right?
It's 10-year lifespan. That's
Right.
It's just done, right?
And another thing too that we've been encountering is a lot of homes have low voltage smoke detectors in place of the 120 volt. So they're completely bypassed. So there is no 120 volt smoke. They're using the same octagon box, and it's a low voltage smoke. And half the time, these alarms weren't even monitored, because we're there to give them a new alarm system. Very important for customers or homeowners to, get that looked at.
They don't look at it until there's an issue.
They don't.
The majority.
Unfortunately, I have to say you're 100% right.
You have to just stay on it. And also, and then when I was saying 10 years, good smoke alarms. I ain't talking about cheapy ones that are already yellow and you bought them at the dollar store or some shit like that. That doesn't make any sense, right? And when you're even dealing with good, even a 3-in-1 homeowner price is like $150.
Yeah.
Right. So just whatever, multiply it. If you got 10 of them, that's what you're going to pay. It doesn't matter, right? $1,500 or whatever. It's going to be $2,000. But the cost of that house burning, like, you don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the smoke alarms, obviously they have their purpose, and on the alarm side, it has its purpose to notify emergency services.
Yeah.
God forbid you're not there. They both have a different purpose, because when a 120 volt smoke goes off, all of them are going off. So if you're in the house, you're going to freaking hear it. So that's crucial.
Yeah.
The alarm side is more to just get that notification to the monitoring station, so that they know, hey, there's a fire notification here. We got to send out, the fire department.
Yeah.
Because they're not all going to go off like the 120 volt smokes do.
Just more eyes on it.
It's just one that will go off.
So you guys are also, because I know I saw last year or year before, you're doing the whole song and dance with the light show for security purposes, right? So you can notice. So you're using soffit lighting, light fixtures on the exteriors, on the walls or whatever.
Yeah.
You're using whatever components, and then you're activating a song and dance that if there is an intrusion or somebody's there, and it's not necessarily a raccoon, it has to be slightly larger for it to be triggered, right?
Yeah.
And it definitely works, doesn't it?
It does.
Absolutely.
It does. I mean, so some clients actually put spotlights, and then we trigger those.
So you
like,
mount the
floods.
spotlight and then it just floods the light everywhere.
Yeah.
Back and front. I guess everyone was trying to sneak it in.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine, they just broad daylight smashed the back sliding door, and that's how they got in.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, man. Like, not funny. It's kind of
The opposite.
ironic, but a lot of people are smashing glass again. That kind of stopped for a long time, and now it's smashing the glass and opening a handle, like old
It's
school way.
easier.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Which calls for the ability to have an alarm system with glass breaks or shock
Yep,
sensors.
sound.
Yeah.
But do they trigger if you stub your toe in the middle of the night and you yell? Will it trigger?
No, they're actually, even when going to test them, you got to use a glass break tool.
So it's actually got to be
certain frequency.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Introducing Alt Labor Solutions, the game changer for contractors and laborers. Are you a contractor needing skilled labor or have labor in need of quick shifts? Or how about buying, selling, or renting tools, material, and equipment? Connect easily with contractors and find resources hassle-free through Alt Labor Solutions online platform. Post job listings with project details, browse public resumes, and choose the right person for the job. Explore their job board for new opportunities and connect with top talent. Alt Labor Solutions revolutionizes the labor industry with a user-friendly interface, secure payments, and a supportive team. Visit them at altlaborsolutions.com and start connecting with other contractors today. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life.
Yeah.
So when I do spend some time on social media, and you know how it works, you see one thing, all of a sudden you see 1,000 versions of that one thing, right? And I'm an old school guy where I like those stereo systems, the EQs.
I love that too.
I fucking love that shit, right? Which means that you have to pair them up with some big speakers next to them.
Yeah.
Are clients going that route? Or they want things to be hidden and disappeared and one source of music source? I'm like, I still have CDs, I still have tapes, cassettes, like stacks and stacks.
We're just talking about CDs.
And, you know, there's no milk crates anymore, but
Yeah.
I would fill up a lot of milk crates. So I would
still
still
have
want to
one.
see a turntable, a CD player, not a 6 disc changing thing,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a single
Single disc.
cassette, because then you could always just listen to whatever you want. But that EQ thing, it kind of makes sense to have that if you want that as just like a nice little point of listening to something music wise.
100%. I think.
But is a market asking for that?
Some clients and some homes have a section that accommodates that. Like I just went to see a house yesterday in Collingwood, and he's going to have like his own 2-channel setup down in the basement, so he can have his speakers. His family room's actually getting a set of towers. Meanwhile, it's this massive, huge vaulted ceiling family room, but he wants his tower speakers next to the hearth. Is that the word?
The hearth,
Yeah.
fireplace.
Yeah. He wants it next to each hearth on each side. I'm like, you go, boy.
So where is he putting the system then?
Well, so that's a little bit of a hybrid because he's still running it off of an app. But he wants to hear his speakers.
Manny didn't
downstairs.
like that.
Yeah, downstairs is going to be a
didn't
separate
want-
I
system.
like the
physical
components.
media.
Like, I have an old school Luxman.
Ooh.
Lovely.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it still
Yeah.
works. There's no
Yeah.
issue with it. Amplifier, CD player, turntable, cassette player,
Nice.
right? And then the speakers, they went, right? I don't know how they go.
There's some
Speaker
pretty
go.
cool audio files that they're on social media, and they have like a full Kenwood setup, a full
Oh, I remember
Pioneer.
those. Yeah.
But have you seen these guys on social media? Like they'll light it up. Like you'll see the EQs.
Yeah.
See, that's a little.
I think it's cool. Like I think it's just
little
nostalgic,
extreme.
right? Just to kind of see it.
I don't
again.
need the Ferris Bueller and trying to figure out a cough, right? Like that kind of thing. That's a little too much, right? But I like that system where it's there. But I guess my question to you guys is, what should the room be like for the best sound quality? And not like you're not cranking this so the neighborhood hears it. You're cranking this to appreciate the music,
The authenticity,
and
yeah.
and all the instruments that were like. I love also diving into social media sometimes where they'll take a track from classic and they'll break down all the layers,
Right.
and you'll
Yeah.
hear everything, and they're like, "This is where it all came from. This is where it started," and then
Right.
they'll layer everything down, and they'll give you the final sample, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit!" Now I hear all those layers now in the song.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to listen to the music.
Right. Yeah.
How do we make this room?
It's gotta be
No house
treated.
nowadays are building rooms to accommodate that
So how do we build that room? You build them for home theaters,
for home theaters.
but,
Yeah.
but can you build a room for audio for listening
Oh,
to
sure.
good quality music.
There's a lot of acoustic treatments that you can do to a room, like during the build, if you really want to.
Like what?
And
There's things you could do in the walls so that they don't resonate as much. Dynamex is a company that makes kind of it's almost like a rubber material that will actually absorb vibration. And
You're putting it
unwanted
where?
energy.
Inside the cavity?
You put it into walls. Yeah, you would actually put like a
What's it
membrane
made
of
out
it.
of?
it's like a sticky.
It's kind of
like
sorbitol.
Dynamat. It's a sticky rubber.
Sorbothane. Yeah, I think it's sorbothane that they use.
And it goes into the cavity of the wall?
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll just basically eliminate the ability for any echoing to happening within your wall channels, your stud channels, and your joist channels.
And then you just put drywall right in front of it.
And then you could do, yeah. Or you
Or
could do
nowadays you could do
acoustically treated.
Sonopan.
Yeah, you could do.
Now you can do
treated
Sonopan and
drywall
just
that's-
avoid all that.
Yeah. That will help
Sonopan.
absorb, and diffuse sound accordingly.
Well, first of all, no metal studs.
No.
Like that's
Studs,
just an
yeah.
energy not to be reckoned
tuning
with.
fork.
Yeah, it's just going to keep going.
Yeah. The
soft-
wood will absorb some.
Yeah, soft installation. Throw some Roxol in there.
Yeah.
None of this hard spray foam.
Rock wool.
Rockwell.
They
Yeah.
keep changing these stupid names.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Sonopan 5/8 drywall if you want at that point.
But would it be drywall would be your ideal material? Do you like
Well, you can treat it after.
Yeah,
Remember,
you would want to do surface treated like
Fabric?
on top. I mean, you can put fabric, so aesthetically it might be pleasing, but fabric's not going to do a whole lot.
what do you want to treat it on top? What do you're putting acoustical panels?
Yeah,
Yeah, which is your Corning, whatever,
Yeah.
compressed insulation.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're sitting with a 2-channel setup, really all you want to do is you want to absorb that sound that's bouncing behind you.
Yeah.
Right? You want to do a little bit on the sides if you can.
You're putting two
Yeah.
speakers in front of you.
You're putting 2 speakers
You have
in
a
front
chair
of you.
there, smoking chair,
Like
brandy
Maxwell.
chair.
Remember the Maxwell guy?
Exactly. So, but you have two sources of sound coming towards
Yeah.
you.
That's right.
And you want to make the walls a certain way so that sound could resonate properly back to you.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
think of dispersion. So dispersion is gonna exit right from each speaker. Let's call it 120, 130, depending on the speaker. More of the high frequency is what you're trying to trap. That's what you're trying to control. So anything you can do to absorb some of that sound, it's just more for you to take
So
in.
put a rug down on the hardwood.
Rug,
Yep. Yep.
curtains.
Ceiling.
Ceiling, if you could put,
What are you putting on the ceiling?
There's some companies call them clouds, but basically they're acoustic panels that are actually suspended from the ceiling. So they're
That's
not
right.
actually flush mounted to the ceiling. They're dropped down usually 12
So
to
the
24
sound can
inches.
kind of go around it.
You still want some airspace in there because you don't want it to sound like a anechoic chamber. That's like where there's no resonance at all. Because then
Yeah.
it sounds creepy. It sounds unnatural.
You guys ever been in one of those?
Yeah.
I want to try to.
I was working at the speaker shop when I was 12, and we didn't have one that was fully certified, but it was pretty
It's eerie.
freaking.
What's the rule of
I don't
thumb? How
like it.
long can you survive in there? They say that a human being can only survive a certain amount of time
I
before.
don't know what that is, but I was in there for maybe 5 minutes, and I
I think my
had
tinnitus
the
would just fucking
heebie-jeebies.
kill me if I was in there, man, because that's all you would hear. I would hear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
yeah, very unnatural. What else?
It's nice
No,
for
I'm
speaker
just-
testing though.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to think of is drywall the best material as your finish source, or is it other materials? Do we go, I don't know, fabrics, woods, concrete? I don't know. Denser materials wouldn't work.
Well, you want that medium density, right? That's why MDF works so
That's
well.
why they use it on speakers, yeah.
for cabinetry.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want that hard surface. Right. So drywall is actually not really that bad.
Because it has
The
it's an arrow bar.
5/8 is definitely the way to go.
Because you don't let it go past it.
That's right.
So you won't really that's the other challenge, is that you don't want it to affect the rest of the house.
Right.
You don't want the house to be vibrating, right, as a
Right.
result of it.
Yeah.
Because if you do want to crank it up a tiny bit,
Yeah.
that's what I love about those old school systems. It's literally
Turn the dial.
Yeah.
atomic bomb kind of it's not a push button. I've never seen the old school ones with push button for extra sound. It's always a dial, right? A
Right.
good 2.5-inch dial.
Did you use the loudness button? Did you ever use the loudness button?
Loudness, yeah.
What loudness button? There's a loudness. I'm sure there's
That's
there.
the perfect response. No loudness button required. So many people have the
What's that
loudness
do?
button
Just
on.
cancel it or something? Like reduces
It
it?
essentially takes your EQ and pushes it all up. Right? Loudness is the worst
I
thing
think
to
my
ever.
car does that because when I try to crank tunes on my car, it doesn't crank.
What?
It goes up and then it comes back down. Like it's telling me it's too loud.
Oh, okay, so good.
I'm like, who's
that's
right
something
here?
else.
I want it louder.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Right.
Maybe you need to press your loudness button.
You know,
Yeah.
so I started in speakers from the age of 12, and speakers is everything to me. I still am obsessed.
You build them?
I can build them. I can repair them. I can take any
we just
raw
set up 2 speakers in our office that Dennis made.
that I made. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Did you go funky with some sort of stone material or something like that, or you MDF?
No, MDF painted, so
Yeah.
white painted.
Yeah.
I did like a purple pearl 1-inch silk dome Vifa tweeter.
Yeah.
2 5 1/4.
Little
Like,
flash.
Didn't understand a single word.
we love it, man.
We made them
got
pretty.
a bolt up there, then we have 2 12-inch 3-way pro speakers below us and a 10-inch sub.
Still not understanding a word you're saying, man.
We got big sound in our office. We got big sound. But
Yeah.
my point was about speakers is that what people don't realize is distortion is the biggest killer. It's not power. There's a stigma and a misconception like, oh, hey, is this too much power for my speaker? You want more power. You don't want less. That is the biggest stigma. And we used to, I've sold thousands of speakers, raw speakers, like tons. And when a speaker would come back and the client would be like, oh, this speaker blew and I'm not sure why, we would cut it open on the spot, like cut the surround, cut the spider, pull out the voice coil. And if the voice coil had a black line around the top of it, it was underpowered and distorted. If it was all black, well, they did a good job. They had a lot of power. So the theory or the concept behind that is if the voice coil, which sits center of the top plate of the magnet,
Yeah.
when you are driving a speaker, it goes up and down, which means it's moving air and it's cooling itself
Okay.
just naturally.
Okay. I get
As soon as you implement distortion, the speaker moves less. It moves less now.
so it gets hot.
Stagnant, and it stays more in that one spot. That's why the black line that you see on the voice coil is the heat that it's generating from the top plate of that magnet focused on just that one section around the coil of wire. Distortion. Number one killer 99% of the time of speakers.
So who's got the best speakers these days? To
What
avoid
category? Oh, to
Yeah.
avoid that? You can't avoid that.
That's just going to be in
Yeah,
anybody.
that is an absolute killer. Because if you look at things that prevent you, we always used to call it the slap in the hand prevention. Because really, that's the biggest prevention is to stop your hand from cranking the volume, right?
Yeah.
Never past 75%.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of golden rules, but if you
Never
look at
past 75%.
never past 75%, if you need to pass 75%, you're introducing distortion, and you don't have enough power.
See, that's why the
Yeah.
speakers
You
went.
need a better
Right?
My
Yeah.
speakers went.
Right?
Okay.
You're topping out your Toyota Tercel. You might need a Hemi. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well put.
Or your Subaru. I got to stop saying the Subaru thing. People are starting to hate on me for that.
My wife's got a Subaru.
There is a circuitry that allows a speaker to suppress the power, and that's a light bulb circuitry. It's built into the crossovers.
Okay.
But that only works when you're supplying a lot of power. A lot of power.
Where you get the power
It's
from?
not as effective
The
with
amp.
lower power.
You're oh, so it's the amp now. It's
Yeah.
connected to
So
it.
like a lot of like pro speakers in the DJ world, pro industry, a lot of them have light bulb circuitry built in. We used to build the light bulb circuitry as well. So you'd be cranking it. You look through the airports and you'll actually see a light go. The light will light up, and that's what suppresses the power. It's a really cool thing.
Back in the Chromer days.
That was me.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would be. Yeah.
Yeah, we probably did that kind
But
of stuff.
nowadays, so do we still have this?
They are built into a lot of the high end speakers.
Okay.
They are built in. But my point is that would be your fail safe for when you are driving it with a lot of power to then prevent the speaker from blowing. But distortion can kill any speaker at any time. You can have a clock radio attached to a 15-inch subwoofer. Put it to 100, go get a coffee, come back. That thing's fried.
Dead.
Dead. So people think, oh, I got so much power. You don't have enough. You don't have enough.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
I guess we don't see it quite as much these days because of the types of systems we're installing, like with multi-zone audio. Because a lot of times people were cranking speakers, right? They're having a party.
Yeah.
They have only one, stereo system in like the main area of the house, and they are overcompensating because there's
get the
people all
volume
over the place.
everywhere,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Right.
now our clients,
Yeah.
they're like, well, okay, we're having people over this weekend. their kitchen zone, their dining room, their living room,
patio,
the
rec
patio,
room, gym.
Yeah, they're all on. So now they got great, sound uniformity all throughout the house, and they don't have to have like that zone of just cranked. You know,
And
speakers.
they need 30-40% less power, really.
Yeah.
So how do you guys do that? So if you, let's say you want to go that old school system
Yeah.
and you want to have zones,
Yeah.
but that old school system for the most part can only pair up 2
Right.
speaker sets, right?
Yeah. So in that case, if you're going to keep it old school, you'd have to put into like a selector, like a speaker selector. But you have
So
to
you're
make sure
adding that.
Yeah, you'd have to make sure it's impedance matching, right? So speakers and amps don't give a shit about each other. The amp only sees one thing. It sees resistance.
Okay.
No different than the electrical world. So when an amp is connected to a speaker, it's either reading 8 ohms, 6 ohms, or 4 ohms, right? And if your amp can handle it, it'll give you the power that it requires.
And then you just run it to each of the zones that you want.
Correct.
And put the speakers in those rooms.
Yeah, so if you got a selector and it was a 4 zone, you could say kitchen, patio, master bed, and whatever, rec room. You can have them all on at the same time, and your amplifier won't know the difference because you've got transformers in there, basically coils of wire, resistance, to keep every time you click a button, it's basically balancing to keep it at 8 ohms all the time, so your amp doesn't freak out. You do lose some power with that. You lose about 20%.
This is not where you're cranking it. You're doing it for a party, atmospheric.
Just to say, hey, I love my amp, I love my speakers, I want a couple more zones. I don't need to run it on an app. I want to keep it basic.
Consider Expert Plumbing and Drains. When it comes to plumbing, you need someone who's not just skilled, but truly cares about the job they do. Someone like Aaron Bolin and his team at Expert Plumbing and Drains. Aaron has been in the trade for years, and he's built his reputation on one thing: commitment. Commitment to his craft, his crew, and most importantly to you, the client. At Expert Plumbing and Drains, it's not just fixing pipes, it's about delivering the best possible service every single time on every single project. So whether you're dealing with a leaky faucet, a stubborn drain, or planning a full plumbing overhaul, Aaron and his team are ready to tackle it all with skill, integrity, and a passion for excellence. Need help now? Call Expert Plumbing and Drains at 905-531-4111. That's 905-531-4111. Or visit them at www.expertplumbinganddrains.com and on social media at Expert Plumbing and Drains Canada. Experience the difference of working with a team that's dedicated to getting the job done right. Because at Expert Plumbing and Drains, your satisfaction is their top priority. You can also email Aaron directly at aaron@expertplumbinganddrains.com. Expert Plumbing and Drains, where expertise meets care. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life. So you still can't, if it's an old school system, you can't attach it to an app?
You can attach it to an app if you change your streaming or listening service to something that supports an app. So like Lynn makes really nice high-end audio streamers. If they still want to keep that audio file touch, it has an app that it can communicate with, and then that can go analog or digital audio into your amplifier. So Sonos is as well. Sonos is pretty good as well. Not as high-end as a Lynn or other alternatives, but
This is like literally what I'm doing in my garage right now.
This is what I went to Collingwood for yesterday. Same conversation.
I actually have 2 zones in my garage that I just had built.
I still don't know how big this freaking garage is.
I'll have you over, don't worry. But I literally put 4 speakers in the
2
ceiling.
zones in a double car garage?
It's a single car.
You have 2 zones in the garage?
Yeah.
Why do you need 2 zones?
I'm real sick of with this kind of stuff. So I put in 4 in-ceiling speakers. I guess I'm
Did you put
going
speakers
to.
in the shed too?
No, I think this is kind of my shed as well. So maybe that's the second zone. But anyways, yeah. If I'm just working in the garage, if I'm just doing regular yard work and that kind of thing, if I'm just out there just doing that kind of stuff, then I will just use it as for background music. That's where the 4 in-ceiling speakers are. But if I'm having some buddies over, some friends over, and we're going to be hanging out in there, being a little louder, I'm going to a 2-channel setup, so I'm going to have a nice vintage stereo system in there. I'm going to have 2 audio streams in there. One's going to be going to the background music, audio distribution system, and the other one's going to be feeding the signal to a proper 2-channel system that will also have the ability to play CDs. I don't know if I'm going to get into turntable again, but I provisioned for it to have that capacity to put in a turntable if I wanted to
there is
vinyl again.
There is definitely a demand. Like for me, the thought of having a set of towers or a nice set of
It's beautiful.
top end with a couple of bass bins, like I'm obsessed with that. Like my wife knows this about me. My next house needs to have that land because I'm going to throw like fucking club size parties. I want people's chests to vibrate. But the idea,
you want to roll out the speakers, or you want to build little?
I'm going to stack them. I'm going to stack them. So we're going to go double 18, 15-inch with a horn. Like, we're going hard.
That won't fit in my garage.
When I was younger, I was a DJ.
I thought everybody was a DJ.
I gave a shit about DJing. I had my Technique 1200 turntables. I had my Audio Pro amplifiers.
They have the light, right?
Ashley.
Don't they? They have the little light comes up.
What?
The Technique.
Of course, little.
Yeah, the light that comes up, and all of a sudden you get that little.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's all about that. But for me, it was just about building the system. I had a wall. I had 8 JBL 15s going this way, and then the 15-inch three-ways, and then horns, and then tweeter boxes on top. I would have to scrape my dad's popcorn ceiling at my house on Glenholm in front of Darcy McGee and go to get the last thing in to build this wall. I used to, at 40...
What did it sound like?
At about 40, we had a pool table in our basement. We would jam in that basement, like KRS-One, Tupac, Biggie, just everything.
It just sounds
like Euro, like freestyle. I would play a bass CD. Remember bass CD?
Yes, yeah.
Those were a thing. And it was something at like 30 some odd hertz. The pool table balls would go off
they
the
start dancing.
fucking table.
Yeah,
I am
they
not.
start dancing too.
I swear on everything important in my
The
life.
house is rattling, man.
Oh, my
You got
part-
light fixtures that are moving.
My
You got
na-
glasses in the kitchen cabinets
My
that are
neighbor
rattling.
Paul, Portuguese guy, fucking loved that guy. We were attached. It's a semi. He's like Dennis.
Oh man,
He's like
his
Dennis.
stuff is all bouncy.
He's like, my fucking pictures are falling off the wall. I said, is it my system or is it the shitty house that we live in, man? But my point is I think like I literally just dream of having that in my next house. I want like a nice open basement area where we can just have parties with people over. But I want them to really just feel that music, man.
I think our generation will definitely kind of have a renaissance with those kind of systems, much like turntables
I
became popular.
don't
in
know,
20
man, because
I
that's
think
the
ours
last
will.
time I can't tell you the last time I saw a Fast and the Furious fucking rumbling Honda Civic anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like that used to be an everyday thing back in my 20s.
Yeah, true.
These days they don't do those cars.
No. But that's the younger
they
generation.
keep pulling up to me on the highway every day. So they fucking
Really?
they come out
You're
of the
driving
woodworks,
the wrong
man.
vehicle, maybe, man.
Every day I'm tempted by another.
With the whole
Right, sir.
speakers in the back there and the rumbling, and there's no place to put anything.
Oh,
because
yeah,
you took
neon
all the
lights.
space,
Yeah.
all that crap.
Oh, yeah.
That shit's still alive out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Anybody doing them with Teslas?
I actually haven't seen much on the Tesla side.
Interesting.
But
I
just
thought
seen
they
a-
had that kind of music mode where you can hit it and all the doors open up and start closing.
Yeah,
open.
they have all these
the
fancy
little
things.
fancy
That's-
bullshit thing, right?
That's not
Yeah.
But I just this is
That's
more
not
The one
about
that caught fire the other day.
appreciating. Yeah, that's happening all the time. Appreciating the quality of the music.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Like you just have a room and you set this up to do this, right?
You know, there was back in the day at the speaker shop, there was a gentleman that worked with us, Rob, and whatever, he had this little car. I think it was a Subaru. I can't remember.
Was it the Subaru?
I don't know. I think an older Subaru, obviously. But he just loved like the quality.
Yeah.
So he was all about the quality. And man, I'm telling you, when you would sit in this car, he would play stuff like, Michael Jackson, Thriller, or, other tracks, Man in the Mirror, or whatever. And when those cymbals hit and that
Yeah.
fucking bass
Yeah.
hits, it's game changing. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about sitting in that guy's car. It just sounded so good. It just takes you to a different place.
it's a different experience, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's a complete game changer. Obviously, you got guys that are just all about decibel, right? So they're at like 180 dB at
No,
these
it's
car
not
shows.
about
It's
that.
not that, but that's a different culture. It's a different culture. But the
Yeah.
guys for quality, man, that thing was dynamated in every freaking nook and cranny. There was no resonating. nice fiberglass panels, Dynamat behind, like 4 5.25 or 6.5 in the door. Just the whole spectrum of the frequency was just completely great. Like just he nailed it.
But you're seeing what the composer or the producer or the artist, you're seeing what they put into this track.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. You're not listening, you're seeing it.
Yeah.
That's the difference of just pulling it up on your app and listening to it off of a device, right? That's where I'm not at the point where, and I'm sure you guys have probably come across clients that are going magnetic. You ever come across anybody that's got a magnetic reel and they're listening to music that way?
No, I haven't seen that.
That's old school. That's like serious, like you're real.
A couple clients,
Yeah.
Like now, I don't even know where you find those to begin with. But that's where back in this would have been 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
That'd be in Nono's storage room.
They would have been producing all these and they would have had it, right? Maybe someone that actually has 8 tracks. You know what I mean? Like they probably have those as well too, right? Because Magstripe was the longest, like it was the hit, at that time.
It's amazing to see when you watch these documentaries. I can't remember which one it was. It might be Queen that I'm thinking about. We watched a documentary where you see them recording and going late nights with these reel to reel, right?
Yeah. Real. And you're laying down each friggin' instrument. And then the vocals.
So much work and effort, and that
shit ain't done today.
No.
But that's what I'm saying is that you want to listen to that music. And then what's the equivalent to visual to that? Because or is there? Because you're getting TVs now that are so sharp and so crisp, but the thing is, it's also like there's no sense in buying an 8K TV if you're pulling a 4K signal, right? Or does it make sense to do that?
Well, it's still going to do its best to upscale that image.
Yeah.
So it's using technology at that point.
Yeah.
But I think that's a very good question. Well, sometimes it is.
Because
it's not realistic.
Yeah, and that's what I'm starting to see a lot more people start doing AI generated posts where it's like live action. You're seeing skin tones and you're seeing colors and you're like, that's not real. In my opinion, that's not real, and I can't stand watching it. But you're talking to a guy who likes sitting in a movie theater, and I miss the sound of the projector.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you also came from film too, right?
So that's what I mean. Is I was the last generation at Ryerson that we shot and cut and worked on film.
Right.
They don't do that anymore.
Right.
Right. It's insane. Like we're physically processing film, and then we're cutting up film. And that's the old school. And then only certain productions nowadays are doing that. But then it always gets up-res to 8K or whatever it is, 4K. I don't know what it is.
Remastered.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now they have to spit it out onto a Blu-ray, or they have to spit it out to Netflix or whatever streaming service, and then they're providing it at that level.
Yeah.
So there isn't, I don't think there's a visual equivalent to the audio.
I was going to say, that was a very good question, because aside from a Blu-ray disc, what are you getting? What are you using? Right? Do they even make Blu-rays anymore?
They still sell them. I still buy them.
4K
Are they still
Blu-rays?
selling new ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're getting certain artists, like Nolan and Denis, like they're still demanding it.
You got it.
You know what I mean? Like the most recent one right now is Daniel Craig calling out Netflix saying, you're a fucking idiot. Your platform is a fucking stupid platform because Netflix is refusing to go theatrically. But the thing is, you're getting performers and film producers that are taking the $150 million to make the movie.
Right.
But it's not their money anymore. So you're being hired as an employee. So you can't dictate what the distributor, which is Netflix, is going to do with it.
Right.
I paid you to fuck off.
Yeah.
That's how it works these days. But then you get other artists, fair and few. Quentin, he's still film. Hateful Eight was all 70 mil.
Wow. Wow.
Like they shot it on 70, and then I'm pretty sure he recorded it old school too with Eno, right? He would have done that because he wanted to stay true to the medium.
That's interesting.
But those guys are gonna, when they die off, it's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know any young artists now that are demanding that. They're like, 28 years later, Daniel Boyle, the third film in the series there, is being shot on the newest iPhones. The whole film is being shot on the latest iPhones.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, I don't give a shit about that because he shot the first one on 16. Regular film, grainy, it looked like shit. But it was done by design that way, right?
I guess there's just not enough appreciation, I guess, for that.
A lot of people argue that theaters are going to disappear because everybody keeps on building their own home theater.
Yeah.
But you don't always go to the theater just for the experience of the movie. You go for the experience of the whole
Going
thing.
out.
Yeah.
I always get
process.
lucky when I go to a theater
Wait, what way?
with my wife. Huh?
What do you mean?
I always get lucky. We always have a good time.
During?
No, when we get home. You go out for dinner, in a movie, have a glass of wine,
It's like a special
maybe.
treat now.
Yeah.
It's
It's been a few years
a good
since I've
dinner.
been to a drive-in, but I still go check it out.
It's been, at
my
least
gosh.
over, it's been about 10 years for me since
See, that's what you do. You
can't
take
remember when
the
I was
Honda
in the
Civic
movie.
that's all decked out, and you patch that into the drive-in movie.
Right.
Then you just hear the bass. You go watch like
Yes.
Jurassic Park or something like that, right?
Yes. Yes.
You see the Civic just as the dinosaur is just like.
Yeah, baby.
I bet you someone's gonna try that now, man. They're like, "Fuck, what's with
the
the Civic there, man?
Problem with me in theaters, I keep falling asleep, man. I'm the worst.
Why? You just,
I just-
pass out?
You put me in front of a TV, give me 20 minutes,
You pass out.
You're done.
passing out. Yeah. Unless it's
not great.
really grabbing my
You're
attention.
just not engaged with what you're watching.
I'm just too comfortable. I don't know. Like at home, like it's a joke between my wife and my son and I. Like
Who's
like,
gonna pass out first?
I pass out first. They make a bet on how fast.
You just make sure there's no Sharpies on the coffee
Yeah.
table.
And I think I'm fooling them, right? I'm like, they're beside me, so I got like this eye open and this one closed. Then you can't control that. And then all of a sudden you're sleeping.
Are you drawing a dick? What's going on there? Don't draw another dick.
And now you got these great theaters, like Famous is it, that has I think even AMC, the VIP ones with the nice recliners.
I hate it, dude.
They're just making it more comfortable for
I
you to
hate
sleep.
it. I hate it.
But they do
man.
serve alcohol, which is great. That'll keep me awake.
That'll keep you going.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Then you might as well just start introducing cigarettes and cigars and too.
Well, let's do it. Let's go.
They won't allow it, right? I'd get a kick out of it, seeing a plume of smoke coming up right in front of the screen.
Hey.
But you need to hear
Yeah.
the clicking of the projector.
Yes.
I think somebody
I
should
think
come up in
that-
old school.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that is a market for sure to create that old school nostalgic feel. Like
You
there's
remember
one.
Europe? I don't know. I'm pretty sure Japan did this too back in the days as well. They would show the movies on the sides of buildings. Outdoor. And then
Montreal.
Yeah, they do
in
it.
Montreal, old Montreal, they have that
They
too.
do that.
Side of the buildings, yeah.
But now they're probably doing it with projections.
Oh, now they're
Yeah.
doing these crazy 3D shit, man, where it looks like the thing's coming right out of
Holograms
the
and shit?
fucking- Oh, like it looks so crazy.
That might revitalize going out to the movies.
Yeah.
You actually have like holographic kind of stuff.
Hey, homeowners and businesses, are you looking for top-notch tile and stone services you can trust and count on? Consider the expert tradesperson behind the Tile Guy GTA, Omid himself. He takes pride in delivering quality service and professional installation on time and on budget. From mosaics to large slabs to custom niches and miters, the Tile Guy GTA has you covered. With years of experience and a commitment to excellence, Omid and the team at the Tile Guy GTA are your go-to professionals for all your tile and stone needs. From full waterproofing solutions of every possible product to the finish grouting details, even a hint of design recommendations when the client needs to hear the truth. Call the Tile Guy GTA today, 647-716-5062, or email them at thetileguy.gta@gmail.com. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life.
Going on.
Any of your
Yeah.
clients ever ask you guys to do a dance floor? The whole old school Saturday Night Fever, lights up, squares?
I did in Mississauga.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did. We did party lights, like triggered party lights and speakers
You're
all
walking
around.
on it and...
Oh, like that? No.
No, not a dance floor like that?
No. That would be cool.
Come on, that would be cool,
Like
man.
I would want that in my house.
Totally. Come on, like you just make a whole square and you got all the different colors.
Oh,
and
that
you're-
would be awesome. That's like Dance Dance Revolution on steroids, man.
How would you... You'd have to cut up the concrete, I guess, and go a little lower and then build
I
the
guess
guts
so,
of it.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's all plexi, I guess, and you got lights all behind it. And it has to go with the music.
We need to find a supplier for that. We gotta start
How would you
pretty
do
cool.
that? How would you do that? That'd be cool, man.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Because in
I
the
don't know.
clubs back in the 70s, not that I was there, you had to step up to get to the dance floor.
Right.
Because they elevated it up and then they had all the
And
guts
then it was
underneath
built into
there.
the-
I can
the
only
platform.
imagine it was probably like, wasn't fluorescent tubes, was it? What kind of lights would...
I
Too
don't
slow
know.
to react.
What kind of lights would it have been at the time?
Floods.
Floods.
Floods were the
Everything from
biggest.
It would have been just
Yeah.
a flood right there, pointing straight up.
Yeah. Through a lens. Yeah. Through.
Hey, you can technically do it with any light now, just by using a module that goes with the beat of the music. So you can kind of retrofit that any
I'm
which
sure
way you
there's,
want.
Yeah, a very modern way to do it.
Yeah.
What about outdoor? Everyone
and LEDs
going,
are quick; they'll react quickly.
Everyone going ballistic with outdoor now. They're partying up the decks now, the backyard.
I think when COVID hit, a lot of people were like, "Well, we're not going to Mexico anymore. We may as well make
we
the
want
backyard
speakers.
Mexico."
Are people bringing out the systems outside?
Yeah. Well, Randy right now is at a client's place getting the TV up in the cabana, the speakers, the Wi-Fi. Client just added a pool, literally just days
We
ago.
always ask, are we doing a TV in the backyard? It's like,
Now it's just a room for us.
It's like 50-50, yeah.
There's no sense in getting these outdoor TVs anymore, is it? Because they're always going to be covered up.
Yeah, like if you're sheltered, you're okay.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it okay though if you're outside, even in the like you got a cover on it? I guess in the harsh climate.
Yeah, like we've got clients going over 5 years now that it just gets covered in the winter, and they're
What do you got
still
to do?
okay.
You got to increase the light on the TV to compensate for
The brightness, yeah.
the brightness.
Yeah.
Well, not in this case that I'm talking about, because they're in a sheltered cabana,
If
no
it's-
direct
if it's
sunlight.
covered, yeah.
No direct sunlight at all.
Well, I asked that question because I know that all the advertising signage on the Gardener during the day it's increased
Of course.
because you can't see it otherwise, right?
Yeah.
But then at night, and sometimes they forget the daylight savings, so then now it's like crazy bright at night.
Yeah.
'Cause they
Now
forgot to
the
adjust
cool
it.
part about the new TVs, it'll adjust that for you. That's better than having to remember, right? So
They'll do it automatically.
They'll do it
based on
automatically.
the atmosphere that's
There's a
in.
sensor, yeah.
based on the ambient light.
Yeah.
Just like my TV, which is already a few years old in my bedroom. As soon as I turn off my bedroom lights, you see my TV just go doof, 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 by itself.
Who's got the best TVs these days? Or is that
Fucking
like
TVs, man.
Is that a question that's asked by every single fucking client?
Every
in the
client,
entire- Give us the best. Who's got the best? I
the
read
best
this
of
about
what?
this
Picture?
Picture.
Sony.
Sony is always still.
For
Why
me,
is it the best?
you know what? LG is a fucking close runner with their OLEDs.
They're
Why
killer,
is the Sony the
and
best?
Even the,
Sony has always focused on, and he could speak more on this too. He's a big TV guy, but Sony has always focused on giving you that better image. So that deep black, high quality video. They always put their
I like
energy
true blacks,
and
like
resources
black,
into
true black.
video.
Yeah.
Samsung, not that they don't make a great TV, they do, but they also give you great smart features as well. So their tech and their video combined with a decent price sells and makes for a good TV.
But what if I just want a TV? This couch is for me to sit here to listen to music. This couch is not for me to hear to like talk to, I don't know, whatever, right?
Right. Mhm.
This TV is just to enjoy a program, a movie.
Right.
I don't need the connectivity regarding. I don't need that whole connect.
if you're just looking
there's
for
a call coming
the
in.
best picture quality
Yeah.
possible, if we want to talk about like, authenticity of video, then I would still put my chips on Sony. Like,
Which Sony though? Because there's a gambit, right?
you would go into their top flight. Actually, it's now
Is it-
quantum.oled.
Okay.
Yeah,
My level of
mini LED.
education is
Yeah.
Trinitron.
Right. Trinitron. I had one, man.
I think there would have been wood grain. I think.
No, mine was
I think it
black.
had the three colors, and then Trinitron was the logo, right? Sony Trinitron, new this summer.
The green,
Yeah.
yellow, red.
So sorry, which one is it, Ken?
yellow.
It's probably their top OLED or their mini LED. It's actually kind of it's a bit of a conversation, those, because it's different technologies, but they're both like top of the
Would you
mountain.
rely on their speakers for their unit? No or yes?
No.
You're relying on it just for the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
to
talking
be
about
honest,
just picture,
if any of these TV manufacturers are watching this, like just give us a dummy mode. Give us monitor mode.
So shut it down, right?
You're
Yeah.
calling it PC. You're full of shit. Your TVs are not that smart. They're kind of stupid. Like we just need a TV to be a monitor,
Basically.
right? So shut up. Don't give me anything and just turn on and off when I ask you.
They don't do that.
And when we do it through the network, can you please not fall asleep? Thank you.
What does that mean?
One of the biggest
disconnect
things
from
we
our
deal
system.
with is if there's, power glitch or power went out, TVs just completely lose themselves on the network. So our clients with this
They
massive
reset?
No, they let's say they go dormant on the network, but if you grab a TV remote, the Samsung remote, and you click it, the TV will turn on. But the client's grabbing their fancy Control 4 remote and they're saying, "Oh, I want to watch this," and it's not turning on. And they're like, "Oh, Dennis, something's wrong with the Control 4. It's fucking not the Control 4.
It's the TV.
The Control 4 can't see your TV anymore because your TV just decided that it's going away.
So why don't they
We
change
deal
this?
with this.
They're working on it.
They've been working on this for years.
Yeah.
None of the
It's a very
manufacturers
simple
like
thing.
LG or Samsung or none of them?
Honestly, the LG IP control, big ups to you. Big ups to
pretty
you.
solid.
All the ones I've done, never had a call back to this day. Sony was fantastic with their IP control.
See, this is Sony.
Yeah. Until they teamed up with Google. All went to shit. All
For
went to
what? For
shit.
like Google Home, all the
They
interactive
teamed up
shit?
with Google to say you provide the smart features and cool stuff.
See, I
for
don't
our
want that
TVs.
from a TV.
Yeah.
And we don't want clients to rely on that either, because when shit goes down, your TV needs a reset or whatever, you're just crumbling a part of the ecosystem again. I had to do a reset on a TV the other day with a client over the phone. And in my mind, before making the phone call, I'm like, we got to reset them. We got to do this. We got to set this. You have all these settings we got to redo just to reset that TV. Whereas if it's a dummy mode and it's a monitor, we
It's
can
already
reset
blank
it.
canvas.
Yeah, just reset it, bring it back. People don't realize how much we have to do, at least for companies that know and care. There's a lot of shit you got to do to put it back on the system.
It also just doesn't make sense to me that like they wouldn't have an actual dedicated model for that application. Like think about like how much they would save on like the licensing. Like you wouldn't have to have it, AirPlay friendly. Oh, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to have
We turned that
Netflix,
off.
Disney, Prime.
Like, I don't want any of
Crave.
that. I don't care any of it.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
you
need to
just
scroll
had-
through a bunch of
Yeah.
apps.
And with like how huge video distribution and automation systems are these days, you could approach an end user and be like, "Oh, Sony has finally decided to come out with their monitor series. This will save you 50% per TV." Because because
Would it drop that much? Because the
that's
picture,
probably a bit high, but
the
like
picture quality is like you're
They-
buying the picture quality.
yeah, they could still they would still load it with all the video technology they need
But
to
here's
make it
okay. So
perform.
let me play marketing boy.
Uh-huh.
They sell the TVs based on the connectivity apps, not the picture, which is primary.
The connectivity apps.
I
It's
think
like-
so. I think
That's
the
why
general
it's-
market
Yeah,
is
want
buying
smart
something
TVs. Yeah.
because of the connectivity, not the picture. They'll sacrifice the picture
Yeah.
for the connectivity. Where I don't give a shit about the
That's
connectivity.
right.
I give everything about the picture.
That's why they still have to have. Most TVs still have to be smart TVs because the majority of the market wants smart TVs.
We all look at it
Yeah.
differently, right? So the most common statement I'll get from a client, "Hey Dennis, we just got this house, the TV in the master bedroom, it's a smart TV, so we'll just work with that one, and then the one in the living room that's a frame TV, so we'll stick with that one, and then check out the kitchen one." I go there and I'm like, yes, it's a smart TV. It's 7 years old. I got to control it with infrared. So there's a step back in your 2024 home automation system. We all look at things differently. We look at power, control, audio, and video, right? Then you have a client that says, "I want to get full surround sound." Your AV receiver is 200 feet away. Fine. And I also want to get it from the Netflix app on my TV. Oh, okay. So now we got to use eARC. eARC requires HDMI control. That is forbidden in the control world. We look at things differently, right? So it's our job to kind of take in all these
Where
things.
did they get that education from? From the
Just
purchase? Like it's the purchase power. Like we bought this TV 2 years ago. It's a smart TV. We spent the upgrade to get this particular smart TV. But when it comes to you guys coming in there and you want to get 2024, 2025,
Yeah.
it ain't as smart as you think it is.
Right.
But
And
yeah,
then-
you have to tell that to the client.
And there's way more elements. I was working till 11:30 yesterday because I realized that after we extended all our lines, we were beyond the distance of pushing 4K beyond 40 meters. So then there's the distance thing with wires, right? And that happened to me last night, which it's okay because downscaling to 1080p, this thing looked incredibly beautiful, all TVs. And the client's aware. But my point is, these are all the elements that we have to kind of deal with or try to navigate and know ahead of time.
Here's the thing is, I would never care to watch Godfather on a 4K TV. Right?
Yeah.
Because I know that it was produced
Right.
with the blackest blacks.
Yeah.
Right? The right colors are all there. So I could watch a DVD version of it on a regular 1080 and it will still look exactly what I remember it looking like.
Probably look better because it's more of its natural.
That's what I'm
form.
thinking is
for
that,
that,
you're gonna
yeah.
you get this fight, I think, because the way things were done then compared to the way things are done now, it's when you want to watch Avengers and shit like that.
Right.
Then you want all these stupid sharpness and color and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that's where I get lost, where I don't need that. But I get it with families. You got a whole generation now that are coming up. That's the only thing they know about.
Yeah. Like I said, people don't even know what this is,
Yeah, no. No.
right?
Yeah.
So it's different at that point.
Yeah, it'd be like,
And anybody who's not watching, I was just doing the rolling down the window.
the window, yeah.
I
Yeah.
still miss turning a car key. I don't have that. I have a push button.
That's why I can't wait to build my dad's car, man. 81 Trans Am sitting in my garage.
That's a turn.
It's half gutted. I got to keep going.
Did you ever see before Reynolds died, they were going to launch kind of like a Camaro version of the Firebird, a modern day take of it.
Of the Bandit?
Yeah, someone built one, and then they got him to sign it and everything, and they were going to go into mass produce, and they never did, and I don't know what happened there.
Huh.
It was kind of similar to what they did with the Camaro,
Right.
but it was the whole Phoenix, T-bar, everything, T-roof.
The new version of it, right? The new Camaro look.
Yeah.
I seen one the other day.
But it never went into production. I don't understand why it didn't.
It tripped me out because I seen it. Trans Am, black, gold, the bird. I'm like, what? I've seen it as like a concept. I didn't think they made production. Obviously, this guy took a Camaro and just decked it out like a Trans Am because they
That's
don't
what he did?
exist, right?
So I don't know if maybe he
But
didn't
it
get the
looked
permission from GM.
so good. Anyways,
I'd rather have the original, like you just said.
oh yeah, yeah. I grew up in
Remember that
car.
GM key, that car key? It was
The square?
It was the square or the old, no, the trunk.
Thank you. The
Two
doors.
keys to your car.
The doors were oval and the ignition was square.
Oh my.
So you had to use one key to get into the car and one key to turn the car on.
Yeah.
Always two keys, man.
Yeah, yeah,
I miss, and the big GM on it, like
Yeah.
engraved into the stamp
yeah.
there, right?
Those are the keys I have.
I kind of miss that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's ashtrays in the back of my dad's car. There was actually a couple of
Some
butted
butts
out
in it.
cigarettes that were in there.
Hey, some of the German manufacturers today are still putting ashtrays in the cars.
Yeah,
I
Germans,
got a pop
Germans
up.
keep it real,
I got
man.
a pop up or pop in ashtray option if I wanted to.
Really, eh?
Yeah, they give it to you still. The Germans still smoke.
Yeah.
Protect your investment one drop at a time. Your home or project deserves the very best when it comes to waterproofing. Trust nothing less than the service that guarantees you peace of mind and lasting protection. Meet Antonio, the expert behind AquaStop Waterproofing. Whether you're a homeowner wanting to keep your basement dry or a contractor in search of a reliable partner, Antonio and his skilled team deliver unparalleled quality and service. From the first site assessment to the final backfill, every detail is handled with precision, ensuring your project is completed on time, on budget, and to the highest standard. Antonio's team doesn't just solve problems, they prevent them. With a proven track record of working with insurance companies, educating clients, and using the best products available, AquaStop Waterproofing offers a solution you can depend on for years to come. Experience the difference with a team committed to excellence. Antonio and AquaStop Waterproofing are your go-to professionals for all things waterproofing. Get in touch with AquaStop Waterproofing today at 647-631-4144 or visit them at www.aquastopwaterproofing.ca. For direct inquiries, email Antonio at aquastopwaterproofing.ca. Let's make sure your property stays safe and sound, rain or shine. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life.
Huh.
Let's look at it as an option, but
That's incredible.
see that, and I know what you're saying kind of about earlier, how you're going to get this resurgence of all these kids that didn't really experience this in their lifetime, but it's a pretend version of what it was.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
I don't know about that. So would you go out and buy a bug?
No, I wouldn't.
It's a pretend version of the original.
Right. Yeah.
I would I'd
appreciate
rather
it,
have
but-
the rear engine
Yeah. Yeah.
original version. I'd drive
Yeah.
that one no problem, but a new version, I'd never drive that thing.
Well, I think an example is like my goddaughter. She's I think she's 9 now. She just recently asked for a Walkman.
I have one.
And yeah, she's, maybe her reasons for wanting a Walkman might be a little different.
I have a Walkman, I have a
yeah.
Discman.
Are you selling one? Nope. I got to track one
I have an
down.
old school
Yeah.
Sony yellow.
Oh yeah, nice.
Can't find the power cord and the
Nice.
batteries ain't working. The C batteries are not. I pop them in, it doesn't work. So I don't know, there's something wrong with it. It's got paint all over it. I used to paint with
You
it.
probably have that part of the speaker shop.
Probably.
Yeah. But anyways,
shop's
like
got
she,
everything.
just the
it's
fact that
good part, yeah.
she has an interest in it and she's looking to have that music listening experience come from that direction. I think that's better than her just, just falling into line and just like listening to music off of her phone or an iPod, you know, like, and it's maybe that's her gateway into getting into more of these kind of like vintage style AV experiences, you know.
But that's what I was asking at the whole beginning of the show, where it's like our clients going that tower. I think there's value in that nostalgic purpose of that tower.
I think so. You know, like
A
it's
soothing
interesting.
mental state value.
JBL, who is, you know, one of the huge American speaker manufacturers of all time, they recently launched, like this in the last 3-4 years, they relaunched their classic series. So like you might remember those big box speakers that have like the colored grill.
Yeah.
This company that's been around for decades, they see, there is enough demand for us to actually bring back this big old clunky brown box that sounds amazing.
That was like the L series. The L
Yeah, that's
series.
right.
I know, but talking
That's
about
right.
like woodworking and construction, I'd be even interested in building the carcass for that speaker.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Like you
exciting
find
to
a
me.
certain kind of
Yeah.
wood that you want,
Yeah.
oil it,
would love
and build
to
that
eventually
box.
get
That's
into
what we
that.
did at the speaker shop. We made speakers. The shop down there was amazing. The table saw
Sign
was
it,
massive.
engrave it, or make a little brass plate that
Yeah.
it's yours. Number it. Like there's something to that, right? And then have your tower. And then go there and sit there and pick a track.
Oh yeah.
Pick a track from early 2000s and younger, older, I mean. You know, because I can't listen to anything fucking today. Very rare, but
There was a really cool speaker design that Frank did from the speaker shop. Shout outs Frank, my mentor from the age of 12. He designed a speaker. So think of plywood for a second. So think of
like Douglas
like
fir plywood?
multiple ply. Yeah, the one that's got like 10 layers in
Yeah.
it.
So
Is that
also
what-
Baltic birch kind of thing.
yeah,
or Russian ply.
and very flat, so finished.
Yes.
So he designed a speaker that, so let's say it was a bookshelf speaker, okay, yay by yay by yay, so 12 by 12 by 6, whatever. He designed it so that from front to back, so from where the speakers are cut out to the back, that has an air port, a terminal, okay. He designed it so that from front to back was a layer of this plywood this way
Throughout the whole thing?
throughout the whole thing. So the airport, an airport is just basically a hole that
Yeah.
allows air to go through. A proper airport, especially when it's tuned properly for the cabinet, it's a specific diameter, specific depth, and then it usually should have a flare at the end to prevent any wind noise, right? You don't want a 90-degree angle and the wind will catch it. Just think about this for a second. So three-dimensionally, you're looking at this cabinet sideways. Starting from the back is, let's call it layer 1. It's going to have an opening and a hole for the terminal. But that opening is already going to start to taper in. Layer 2, it's tapering in more. Layer 3,
So he built
it's
a
going
block speaker, but he did it by layers.
and all drawn out on the
How
software.
did he do that?
It
That's fucking
turned
challenging.
out insane.
It must be very heavy.
You guys have
block.
to you have to think about it for a second, because it's every piece of that plywood is almost like a stencil, because it is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wood
They're
itself.
each a cross section of the.
And it has to continue
speaker.
to form as you go
Yeah.
layers to the front.
It must look pretty.
What was the
amazing,
sound
too.
like?
I don't remember. I was just too blown away by the
This is
design.
why nobody cares about repairs.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you get the opportunity to build something really unique. Like you can find
I
wood.
guarantee you he's got those still in his house, because
Yeah.
they are just a rare,
and then you
rare
park
piece.
those there, and you're listening to the music off of that. I mean, as much as the invisible speakers are and rounded and black, and you integrate and all this other, I guess
That's more for looks, man.
Yeah.
It's more for looks or not looks.
I
want to
hear
not
it.
seeing
I
anything.
want to hear it, right? So, and then every so often you just crank it
And yes,
just to feel
sometimes
it.
you want to feel it too.
There's
wanna feel
nothing
it.
like feeling the music, man. I'm sorry. My next house, you're going to get an invite to this party. Let me tell you,
love
buddy.
to, man. I'll bring some earplugs though, man. My hearing's going these days, right? So
What's that?
What? Gentlemen, we got to do the 12 questions, man. What is it? Avis _concepts.
Avis _concepts for Instagram.
Email?
And email info@avisandconcepts.com.
Phone number?
416-800-6714 and avisandconcepts.com.
What's your favorite construction word or phrase, gentlemen?
Fuck it! I don't know why I always think about that. I'd say it's LVL.
LVL.
There's always a fucking LVL in our way.
There's always an LVL.
This GC says
But you
drill
can
wherever
drill
you want.
through them.
This one says you can't drill. This one says
you
say
can.
2 inches from the
You
edge.
can-
Mama
you
fango.
can drill through LVLs.
Through LVLs.
Right.
Try to stick to the center.
Listen, you can't drill holes for plumbing and HVAC through LVLs.
No.
But you can drill electrical wires, which are 3/4 hole.
Yeah,
So
up
that
to.
means you guys can drill through an
Yeah.
LVL. Simple as that.
There's always a conversation because of an LVL. So I'm going to say that's
Worst
my
case
favorite.
scenario, manufacturer specifications. Call the LVL company and go, hey, can I drill a 3/4 inch hole in your... That's
Right.
it. And they'll send you the link on the website that tells you what you're allowed to drill in.
Yeah, and if there's another hole beside you, how far away to
How
be
far
from
away?
it.
How far away from a load bearing? How
Right.
far away? Like it should, there's always rules. Same with the engineered lumber. You
Yeah.
can. I've drilled up to like 8-inch hole, but it had to be in the center of a 22-foot span. That was the only spot I can drill an 8-inch hole inside of an engineer 11 7/8 joist.
Wow.
Wow.
Because we didn't want to do a bulkhead, so I ran the ductwork all through that. I had to drill every single one. I had to make a jig and then jigsaw it through every single fucking one to
my
avoid
God.
a bulkhead.
Wow.
That's like the airport going through that speaker.
Yeah.
your-
What's your favorite construction term?
Word or phrase?
Word or phrase? I still like shit, but not shit. Shit.
Double E or triple E?
It's IET.
IET.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say precast.
Oh, I should have.
That's a very new one for us.
Least favorite tool?
Least favorite tool. Least favorite tool.
I don't like the flathead screwdriver. It just
It's a useless. Well,
I know.
paint cans.
it's good. Yeah, it's good for not what it's intended
Chiseling
for.
when you
Yeah.
can't find the chisel.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the most inferior screwdriver.
I love tools, man.
There's no least favorite tool.
I love my tools. Least favorite tool. Fuck.
I'm trying to think.
I noticed that Makita put a dampener on their oscillating tool recently.
A dampener.
It's quieter.
Oh, nice.
It's the head's bulkier,
Yeah.
but you guys should look into it because
That'd be
they've done
interesting.
something acoustically.
So it's not so.
It's not
as
it's
buzzy.
not, it's not like that. It's pretty quiet. So, but I noticed that first thing I noticed was the head's really fucking big now. So they must have done something in that head to
Yeah.
reduce that sound of that blade
They
vibrating.
wrapped it in Dynamat.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did. They did something, but what you like all tools?
Fuck, man. I'm sitting here trying to choose one. I love all my tools. I don't know. I
you
don't
don't
know.
have to
I don't
have
think
one.
there's a tool.
What do you guys miss from
Oh,
your
I hate Allen keys.
There you go.
I hate like individual
I
Allen
like
keys.
key Allen keys.
That's beautiful. Have the nice set. Get good grip.
Yeah.
I hate just, people
gotta
go,
do
let me
that.
get
An
Is that
IKEA
metric or is that
IKEA,
imperial?
yeah.
I use Celsius at home, but Fahrenheit in the cottage. I came here at 25 miles an hour, but I drove 10 kilometers. Fucking
It's amazing that we've gotten as far as we have, man.
God damn it. Anyways, Allen keys done.
What do you miss from your childhood?
Oh, we talked about this. This is actually part of today's theme, I think, is albums. Like actual, like listening to an album front to back, every track, instead of like all these like algorithm playlists and radio stations. Like
The artwork of the album, the
Yeah.
open covers of an
Yeah.
album. Like there's
Yeah.
more to just the music itself.
Yeah.
The lyric sheets.
Yeah.
I miss going down to tracks and played a record on Yonge Street.
Remember when you did that? When you had to go buy it? Yeah.
I would take the fucking car, the bus and the streetcar, and I could still smell the place. No different than I also miss Long and McQuaid. I had a lot of
still
loans with them. Same thing. You walk in and you just have all this music, and I used to buy white label records. White label records. You don't know what you're buying. There's no label on it, but you know you're getting 2 to 4 tracks.
I still go in. I'll go in to rotate this or someplace, and I'm not leaving until I find something. I don't know what it is.
Nice.
And I'm not looking for anything particular.
Yeah.
I'm just,
But you'll look for
There's
something.
and I'll find something.
A
Yeah.
diamond in the
I'll
rough.
go through the
There's-
used
yeah.
section. I'll go through the new section. I don't give a shit. I'll
I
find something.
definitely miss that. I miss going in and buying a record. I miss the mysterious part of white label records.
Yeah. What is it? When
What's
you
going
put it
on? And I got Love is Paradise, that Euro track, and anyone watching this knows Love is Paradise. I had that on white label, and Bruno Origanello, you listen to this podcast, you still have that record. You're welcome. in a 12-inch crate, those real 12-inch crates that actually fit a full record. And I miss Long McQuaid. Yeah, so
I don't have any
anything
45s, eh?
I had zero 45s.
I had no
never got into
45s. I never
My
was
dad had a
interested in
few.
45s.
Yeah, none of ours came as a DJ. Like is
And
all
that stupid
33.
insert that you had to put in there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we used to use that.
That was our line. We don't cross that line. Too
What-
much work.
What construction sound do you guys love? There's no construction
Yeah.
sound.
Mine is the compressor. I don't know what it is.
You love the compressor sound?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, the release.
yeah. So there's the startup, but more like the I like compressed air.
Nice.
Like when you take it off of a nail gun.
Yeah.
What's the
I
can
love
of
that.
compressed air go for these days, man?
$20.
It's air.
I
Can
know.
of compressed air.
You're paying for the
It's air
manufacturing and
with
the
a
material.
WD nozzle on it, like that little thin thing. It's
Yeah.
air.
So you're
And we're paying for that.
Yeah.
Can you like replenish them with the compressor? You can't fill it up again, can you?
Isn't it just compressed air? Is it?
I don't
That's
know.
actually, if that doesn't exist, that should be something
I
that's
don't
out there.
know.
Like you can buy like
I'm-
a little compressed air can that you can refill with a valve. Yeah.
I bet
that-
you there's a way to refill that can.
yeah.
With-
Instead of
we have
dropping
compressor.
$20 per can.
That's what I mean, man.
Yeah.
What's that movie? What's that movie with the guy who's selling air?
Oh, I
It's a
don't know.
kids movie.
I don't know.
He
but
just hold air.
Yeah. And I think his name was Mr. O'Hare.
this sounds like
He
a great
sold
movie.
air.
I don't know. What sound do you love?
Was it not the Grinch?
Paint on a roller.
Oh,
going on, yeah.
painting.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Did you guys see that thing about how rollers have a direction?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
didn't know that. Is that real?
I don't. You got to ask a painter. I don't know if that's true.
I've
So
seen
it's,
that.
it's so that as you're rolling, it's going to a certain
kind of
direction.
makes sense because
Yeah.
when it's manufactured, it's not manufactured straight. It's manufactured on a diagonal.
Right.
So,
And he said if you get the roller and you go like this,
Yeah.
you'll see it either goes down or
yeah,
up.
I
and then
saw
there's
that.
your
I don't
direction.
know how much of it is true or
Yeah.
like we making shit up online
yeah.
now. I don't know.
Have you seen the guy opening the beer bottle with a fucking tape measure?
I've seen that.
Oh, that's the best.
I've seen that.
I haven't seen
Open the tape measure, hold the beer bottle, let
Boom.
it go, and it goes
Pops open.
pops open.
Slick.
We need more of that on job sites. Favorite beverage?
IPA,
Which ones?
Flying Monkey.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to be redundant. So you know what? I'm into some spirits these days. I'm dressing up as with my wife and me are going to be a margarita.
You're gonna
For
be a
Halloween.
margarita.
Well, she's going to be a margarita. I'm going to be a lime. So let's go with a margarita.
So you're gonna be like a big wedge?
Yeah, and we're thinking that she'll maybe have like a Camelback on that's full of margarita, and I'll be walking around with limes.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty
so we can,
funny.
we can.
I like the
practice what we
couple
preach.
costume where the guy has Peter, and his wife's a pumpkin.
Okay, I'm switching my costume.
What turns you on and what turns you off in construction?
What turns me on in construction is the finishing stages of a home. All trades coming in. I'm going to say white glove.
When you guys come in and they're still painting, they're still hooking up plumbing.
Painting's done. They might be patching, like they might be little touch-ups,
Little things here and there.
But I call it like white glove, indoor shoes, booties kind of time. And the part that turns me off the most is lack of responsibility. Too many things happening, too many fingers pointing, and just people
Nobody
not
wants to
taking
take it.
responsibility.
I know.
Because guess what? I'll go there and fix it on the day that I'm there to survey it. My tools are with me all the time. No matter what I'm driving, my drywall knife is there, my drill is out. We did it the other day. We fixed 3 lines just for a walkthrough because I will feel good knowing that it's done. And I don't have to say, well, you guys got to change that. And then,
No, you don't.
yeah. Yeah.
What turns me on about a construction site? I like when we do a walkthrough with the homeowner, and we get to do our spiel, and you can tell they are really appreciating the level of expertise, the knowledge, the communication, and where obviously it actually turns into you winning the bid, where you see like the fruits of your labor and like how much genuine passion we have for that step of that process, that initial site assessment and
I get
visit.
very excited with that,
That like is a
100%.
very gratifying feeling. What turns me off?
going through the GC.
Actually, that's a great answer. Like when you get, sometimes you're put in a position when, where we obviously don't like that. We'd like to work directly with the end user so that we have that.
Why is the client
level
dropping
accuracy.
everything on the GC and you figure this out? You answer that.
I know it's.
I think it's a
unfortunate,
GC. I think it's a GC agenda that gets pushed. Not necessarily saying it's a bad thing. It's okay for the control to be through the GC because yes, they're managing the whole project. Respects and kudos to them. But as far as the communication for what we are providing, it's very personal.
Yeah.
Like by the time we're done,
What you're designing,
we've got pages of information. We need the client to give us verification codes. We need to set up different accounts and passwords and
Most
authentication.
GCs don't have that information.
It's impossible to go through someone at the level that we're at today. Yesterday, where I was working, I literally needed the client about 10 times. I'm like, verification code, verification code, verification code. Like, I need the client, the communications. That's the programming side. But to his point, when we meet with a client, it's very personal.
Makes sense.
We ask 2 questions. What are your watching sources and what's your favorite streaming music service? You know what I mean?
What was those? I don't have a favorite streaming. I still listen to
It's
music.
important to us because at the end of the day, no matter how many zones, how little zones, how crazy you go, how whatever, how's the functionality going to be? And is it going to be suitable to how you guys want it to be?
Favorite
Very
curse word?
Well, I guess I kind of already said mine. This is a Filipino one. It goes like this: "Sus Meriosep,"
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
which is
I had that for dinner yesterday.
was it good?
Sos mediosa?
Sus Meriosep, which means Jesus, Mary, Joseph. So you're just taking the
Oh, you take the Lord's
Jesus,
name in
Mary,
vain.
Joseph.
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
The uber religious.
Mine is
Filipinos
Mama
that love-
Fangulo de Mamita. I kind of know what that means, but
I thought you were singing a song.
A friend of mine growing up who was Italian used to say it all the time, and I just think it sounds great.
So
that's
perfect. Favorite vehicle? Any mode of transportation?
Favorite vehicle?
Any mode of transportation?
Porsche 911 GT3.
Silver or funky?
No, I'd go with like that the gunmetal gray with the red wheels, or like the
red calipers.
Red wheels.
Red wheels.
Yeah, GT3
Rims?
gray. Oh yeah, the single bolt wheels. Yeah, that's my favorite.
I'm gonna go bicycle.
Which brand?
Oh,
I'm not brand loyal, I would say. I mean,
Bicycle?
I had a
But you talking about,
like
you talking
BMX?
about a racer?
no,
or
like
you're
a road
doing-
bike. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
oh, like a Cannondale.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I used to have a
GT.
Scott sub, and I would ride that thing for hours sometimes. Just play my favorite, music and just be coasting along Lakeshore.
You're not worried about the
and down.
chafing and hemorrhoids and shit.
No,
No, the
you
seats
just-
nowadays are much
Yeah.
better.
Nah, those fucking gel seats
gear.
never
Ford's getting
work.
rid of the bike lanes now on 4 different arteries.
Bloor Young. And
I think it's
Avenue.
absolutely ridiculous how long this had to go before someone said something. Come on.
So you spend taxpayers' dollars to put them in. Now you're spending taxpayers' dollars to get them
to
out.
get 'em out.
Then you're going to get
Whoops.
another premier that's going to come in and put them back in. And then like, welcome to Canada. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt one day, gentlemen?
Airport security.
Whoa.
Right? I know. I'm fucking weird. Okay, well, first I'd say.
Why? Because you could like
No, okay, first I'll probably say bartender.
airport security.
Bartender.
For the visualization, like you can see through the scan and now you're seeing what.
No, you guys ever watch Border Patrol?
Yeah.
No.
When it's like, ma'am, do you have anything in your bag? No. There's
Oh, okay, I remember.
6 animals in there. I just want to
For the discovery of what it,
yeah,
like
just
who's
wanna
trying something
humiliate
here.
like, sir, do you have anything with you? No. Sweat.
I knew a girl that was in the porn industry because she was handling the transactions.
Okay.
So she always had to go to Vegas because all the trade shows were going on there, right?
Right.
But she hated going through customs all the time.
Because there's dildos.
They would they would always open them up, right? She was so irritated by her bag constantly being opened up, right? So she got to the point where she would just put a big black dildo right in the fucking top of her. And then they would scan through it, and they would open it up, and they'd be afraid to touch it, and then they would just kind of dig around it, and then they'd go, "Yeah, you can go."
Well played. I've been thinking a lot recently about rental properties and getting into that.
Becoming a
kind of-
landlord
Yeah.
in Canada
I know.
in
Seems
today's
crazy.
climate.
It seems crazy.
Good luck.
I will join you on that venture.
But not here.
Not here.
Good luck,
Yeah.
man.
You want an Airbnb in Europe? I'm down,
I
baby.
don't know. Maybe with
I
the
think there's
interest.
an Airbnb tax coming in now, eh?
Oh,
If it's a primary Airbnb and you sell it,
Uh-huh.
there's a 13% capital gains tax.
Yeah, that sounds
on
about
it.
right. Yeah.
It's just a joke. What profession would you guys not like to do?
painting.
He finds it soothing.
We're the yin and yang, baby. This is why we connect. Connect.
18.
Yeah, painting. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's too. I think it's my OCD that makes me hate painting. It's my
Oh, yeah,
OCD
you would
because
be-
everything is a problem.
You would never, you'd never get a job done.
Everything is a problem.
In painting?
Yeah, like the way that corner met the wall, don't like it. The way that ceiling met the wall, I don't like it. It's got to be better. And then I go to fix it, then I make it worse, and then I got to let it dry, and then I paint
wow.
it again. I'm being serious. My OCD.
Wallpaper too?
Wallpaper I find soothing. See, wallpaper, I love it. Like cutting that 90 degree straight line. I actually,
Like it-
I
the
wallpapered
bubbles out?
our automated trailer, our AVAS trailer. I wallpapered that whole thing.
With what? Like a
Wallpaper.
no, but a pattern or a grass cloth or something.
It was a vertical, so we have vertical gold and vertical silver like lines, and I did like my own wainscoting. So then I just did the wallpaper in between. I find wallpaper because I like numbers, I like edges, I like cutting, I like the crafty side. But because we all know that paint by hand is not perfect, right? My OCD picks it up. I'm too sensitive to it.
What's yours, Ken?
Retail. I wouldn't want to be back on a sales
I don't
floor.
worry. It's going to disappear in 10 years.
Yeah, it's
Within.
It's going
That's
down.
down.
Yeah, retail's
I
gone.
put in my time.
Last question. If heaven exists, what would you guys like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
You left heaven. Welcome to hell, baby.
You had to do it again, didn't you? Bars this way.
No,
There's a bar there. There's a bar there.
You know what? I know what I'd want him to say. It would be like, you know, the earth is flat, motherfucker.
Oh no.
Booyakasha.
Gentlemen, always a pleasure to see you, man. Come back
Likewise.
anytime, man. It's good to see you. And thanks so much for
Yes.
coming back in.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
And all good, man. So everybody wants to reach out. Reach out.
Yes, for sure.
Pick your brain and shit like that. And
Yeah.
ask all the wrong questions.
Were we recording this time?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Nice.
We're out of here. That's it. Thank you.